mini season. I hope it's not too much of an asterisk by this season, but no, they're true winners. They're true winners, I would say. So just wanted to get that out of the way before we, lose it. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us. I really, really appreciate you guys all coming out. This is Coffee with CF. My name is Juan Munoz, otherwise known as Johnny. So you guys can all call me Johnny. I call you all my friends. So I am the Engagement and Stewardship Manager at the Catholic Education Foundation. And, today we have a very special and exciting lineup of guests for you all today. And before we get started, I'd like to start with a few housekeeping items. So let's go ahead as per usual. We will have everyone's microphones muted, and Sandra, if you can go ahead and make sure everybody's muted except for our guests, we will continue to do that just so we can get the best sound quality from our session. We also encourage everyone to take a few seconds to glance at the top right corner of your screen, where you will find an icon where it is designed for you to select your view of the session. So for the best viewing experience, we do recommend sending it to speaker view, as this will allow you to see whoever's on the screen speaking at that specific moment in the session. So lastly, if you encounter any technical difficulties, I have Sandra with me this morning, and she will serve as your tech support for today's session, making sure that you guys are well taken care of. Sandra, could you please unmute and introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well this fine morning. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them down below in the chat feature. All right, Johnny, let's get started.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sandra. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're taking care of all of us. This is great. So if this is the first time you're joining us for Coffee with CF, again, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Catholic Education Foundation provides tuition awards to thousands of students every year, thanks to the support of our donors. We're so excited to continue bringing you the very best that our Catholic schools have to offer. These live sessions were created to join our various Catholic school communities together in what we saw as a platform for growth and connection. So our guests are invited to share their personal and professional testimonies behind why they believe Catholic education is so very important, and to provide us all with key insights into how they are working to deliver these quality experiences to our students and families. We are especially blessed to have countless leaders strategically placed across the Archdiocese of Los Angeles to ensure that the many barriers behind each student successfully attending a Catholic school are reduced and one day eliminated. This morning, let's see here, I would love to start out with introducing you all to our truly exceptional panel of directors whose passion is to collaborate with those who want to make a difference, educate them on the many opportunities to bring impact, and essentially create lasting relationships driven to bring about true change in our Catholic schools. We are blessed today to have representation from Dolores Mission, St. Mary's Academy, Nativity, and also our very own CEF in Koreatown. Our guests have decades of experience coupled with notable measures of success along the way. And before we dive in to learn all about fundraising and community engagement, I would love to introduce our guests this morning. First up, we have Susan Armendariz. She is the Director of Development and Marketing at Nativity School. In this role, Susan is responsible for fundraising campaigns, grant writing, special events marketing, major donor solicitation, and more. Susan has shared her talents at De La Salle School, followed by leading major events at Notre Dame High School, and is now at Nativity School in Los Angeles. Susan grew up in Granada Hills, California, and is one of 4 children. When asked what she would tell her 23-year-old self at the start of her career, she says, "Be confident and go for it. When you are confident, you can do anything." I want the students here to be confident. I want them to always feel confident and know that they have loving, caring faculty and staff behind them. That's a wonderful sentiment, Susan. Thank you so much. We're so glad that you're here at Nativity serving. Next up, we have Denise Bardot. She's the Director of Development at St. Mary's Academy High School. Denise brings over 12 years of successful hands-on experience in annual leadership, major, and planned giving, including corporate and foundation support, special events, volunteer management, donor and alumni relations, to St. Monica Academy's Development Department. Before joining SMA, Denise held several senior development positions at both academic and nonprofit organizations, which include Huntington Medical Research Institutes, also known as HMRI, Dr. Susan Love Research Foundation, Georgia Southern University, Western Washington University, Algen Academy in Elgin, Illinois, and Pacific Hills High School in West Hollywood, California. Denise holds a BA in Management from the University of Redlands, a JD from Syracuse University College of Law, and currently working on an MBA at the University of Redlands. Denise is also a certified fundraising executive. Denise, we're so happy to have you on. Thirdly, we've got Lucio Rodriguez. He's the community engagement and marketing officer at Dolores Mission Elementary School. Lucio Rodriguez has served in this role for the last 3.5 years. He has worked in the nonprofit world for over 15 years in workforce development, education, and now fundraising. He loves the Dolores Mission community's spirit of radical kinship and compassion, and has witnessed firsthand the power of a Jesuit education, as he is the father of 2 Dolores Mission students, Alejandra and Emma. He holds a bachelor's degree in management, has recently returned to school, and is currently completing his master's degree in communication management and marketing at the University of Southern California. Fight on, Trojans. And lastly, we are blessed to have Allison Simpson, the Director of Development for us here at the Catholic Education Foundation. Allison joined the Catholic Education Foundation as the Director of Development in February 2019. Prior to coming on board at CEF, she served as Vice President of Development and Communications at HMRI, Huntington Medical Research Institute in Pasadena, and in senior gift planning positions at Caltech, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and Scripps College in Claremont, California. Allison is a native of Pasadena, grew up in Southern California, and received both her bachelor's degree and her law degree from the University of Southern California. Fight on. She is a member of the California State Bar Association and the Los Angeles Council of Charitable Gift Planners. She has served as president during the 2018 and 2019 term and currently serves on the board of directors. Allison practiced corporate and regulatory law in the Los Angeles area for several years before transitioning 19 years ago into development with a focus on planned, major, and leadership giving. Allison loves spending time with her family, music, theater, and serving as an RCIA catechist in her parish. She has previously served on the board of trustees of both Mayfield Junior School in Pasadena and the South Central Los Angeles Ministry Project, that's the SC LAMP, as some of you may know, as well as on the board of directors of St. Anne's in Los Angeles. She currently serves on the development board of Nativity School in South LA. We're so honored to have you guys. We're so happy that you're here. We can't wait to get into the conversation today. So thank you again. But with that being said, I would like to ask each of you a bit of a personal question. As many of you have come to know, we love to invite our guests to bring their favorite mugs, and then we ask them all what they're drinking. And so I'll start with asking my supervisor, since I know from the many days in the office, a while back, of course, that she doesn't usually drink coffee. Allison, what are you drinking this morning?
I have never drunk coffee, Johnny, but thank you. I have my signature green tea, and it just hit me. I should have gone and grabbed my husband's Dodger mug, but I didn't. So this is my Scripps College mug. This reminds me of when I transitioned into development. This is Scripps green. They have a very particular green. As all of you in development know, you have a palette of colors and you use certain colors. So it's my Scripps mug with my green tea.
Sounds yummy. I love it. Thank you, Allison. How about you, Denise?
Well, I'm having my Starbucks coffee and my St. Mary's Academy mug.
Trusty Starbucks. I love it. Actually, I think I have one of those St. Mary's mugs too. We went years and years ago, and I love it. The yellow pops. I'm loving it. All right. So what is it this morning for you, Lucio?
I'm drinking just some regular coffee in my World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers cup.
Okay.
All right. All right. You know, I got to get me one of those mugs. And what's the morning beverage of choice for you, Susan?
Well, I put aside my purpose-driven life mug for my son's LA Dodger mug this morning. And it is filled with coffee with sugar-free caramel macchiato creamer, which is my favorite.
Oh, absolutely. I actually make that for my wife every morning too. We just get the nice coffee going and then I just drizzle it on top. It's amazing. She loves it. Thank you everyone for sharing. I'm so glad that everyone has a cup and we're ready to go with today's episode. So first thing I would like to kind of bring up is the fact that we have leaders in various schools, and the people that we have on today, they are the directors of development, they are the marketing officers, they're the ones that are really boots on the ground, making sure that our funders know the quality education that they're contributing to. And so today's really a symposium, sort of a group roundtable, just to see what some of the successes in the past year, how COVID has actually impacted some of those strategies and plans for the year. And there's always a big thing on end of year giving, and how do you attack that? And so many different people believe so many different ways are the successful way. So I'd like to just start out by asking everyone, as a roundtable would, are there any upcoming projects that your team is working on to end the calendar year strong? Susan, what's something fun that you guys at Nativity are doing?
Well, we have a lot on our plate right now. We do have our annual appeal that we are currently working on launching. We launch every year at Thanksgiving time. We have a sponsor a student envelope that goes out yearly, and that is our biggest drive each year. That envelope is prepared with a beautiful letter and sent out with a story of a couple of our children and families. And we follow that up with one of the newsletters that I shared with you. And we send out a weekly newsletter the month of, there we go, thank you, the month of November. And we highlight a board member. Here is our president, Jackie Brooks. We also have a picture of our graduating class of 2020. A special note from Jackie, our president, what Nativity is up to, how COVID is affecting us, and we follow with some beautiful photos of our students. Thankful and grateful for everything that our donors are doing during this difficult time, and ending with a thank you and a message from our wonderful principal, Teresa Reynoso-Gonzalez. And we are also updating what we call our dream book. Our dream book is something that we launch in December, and we have it all year round on our website. And I'd like to share that with you today, if I may.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah.
And on our homepage over here, we have a donated button right here, a donate now, and our dream book button. And when we click on the dream book, we have a lovely message from our principal explaining each year during our annual appeal. We're hoping that our constituents and donors will consider sponsoring a student. And we provide a link to view our dream book. And when our dream book opens up, we have a beautiful photo of our pastor, and we share a little bit about Nativity, our location, our mission, who we serve, our commitment to our community and our staff. We also have some beautiful photos of our students, message from our principal. We also have embedded some quotes from our teachers and our families. We just took a very personal approach to this dream book. A lot of times donors ask us, what are your needs? And, sometimes they have $25 or $50 to help a teacher or a class or a student in need. So we provided items per class, sort of a classroom wish list or a teacher wish list per classroom. And we've listed some things like annual subscriptions to education.com, cardstock and supplies, just things that, really add up for our faculty and staff. We've showed some of our teachers here at the first day of school picking up, while the students were picking up their packets. We have our intermediate grade wishes here. Another quote, a quote from one of our teachers. Our intermediate teachers are listed here. And we also have a wish list for our junior high school, some technology needs for our school, and giving our donors an opportunity to give at the level in which they're able to give. We also conclude in our dream book with our sponsor a student, the cost per year, half year, quarter year, month, and so on, giving our tax ID, and then ending with some thank you photos of our families and some of our donors. And of course, here's Allison here with a board picture from one of our masses, and Mr. Felix, who is one of our past principals, and I believe he might be on the call today as well. So grateful for all the support and all the love that we receive. And so we launched this in December, and that's one of the ways that we share. We also send that out in an e-blast to our donor base as well.
It's truly remarkable. I feel like that's definitely some good, I guess, tangible ways of showing people that their donations will go to make a difference. And I think that's such a good thing. And have you guys seen some really good, I guess, results from that?
Yes, we have. We've seen donors take on an entire class or an entire level, like intermediate. You know, we want to support the entire intermediate level classes, and where do we send the check? And that we're able to have the students do personal thank you notes and get those in the mail to the donor, and deliver, you know, a basket of muffins to whomever's donating, and, you know, just really show our appreciation to who's donating.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so glad, because it's funny because it takes a lot of work really trying to, you know, kind of quantify what the gifts mean. And I know in marketing they also say the same thing on your giving page. Make sure you show them where their dollars are going, and that was beautifully done. Your marketing team put together a nice little dream book, and I think it's a wonderful idea. That's so good.
We also
glad.
we also invite them when we're able to back onto campus, and invite them to Mass so that we can honor them in Mass as well. We want them to be a part of our community and a part of our students, honoring them in person. So we hope to be able to do that again very soon.
That's good. Denise, any upcoming projects there at St. Mary's that you guys are working on?
Yes, absolutely. We do have an innovation lab that we're building. We're actually renovating a classroom. Some schools know it as a maker space, and so we're very excited to have that come into being on the campus, because it will definitely transform St. Mary's Academy. But for our annual giving, we launched that early in the second week of September, because we have a number of staged pieces of collateral that go out to engage our community. So we do start our annual giving early. So this is our appeal letter. And so we have been able to have one of our co-chairs of the board of trustees to collaborate with me to share her experience of being a parent and at St. Mary's Academy, and also what she observed in her daughter coming to St. Mary's Academy. And so it has a lot of emotional statements in there, but it also has facts and the value of sending your daughter to an all-girls high school. And so with that, the appeal letter serves to provide the emotional tie to St. Mary's Academy. And then if you scroll down a little bit, we also have a brochure that was included with that. Here's the backside of our brochure, kind of upside down, that it has the pictures of students dating back from 1943 to the 70s on the outside, and there on the inside it has the students of today, so that people could see how the campus has evolved. And then it also provides facts on why they should give to the annual fund. It tells them what the tuition is and it explains the gap. And so it encourages them to make a gift to the annual fund, that is not an extra, but that it is a necessary resource that we need to help each of our young women attend St. Mary's Academy. So we send out the appeal package first, and then we also have target appeals that go out to the different alumni classes. So this is an example. 1967 alumni has given us a personal testimonial to share with the classes. And so it's very targeted in that it will go out to the class of 1963 through 1973. And we're kind of testing it to see who it would resonate to. And so we have her yearbook picture there, and then a current picture of her today. And on the front side of the postcard, we have the traditions that bind all of our students together, and their tie colors that form a basis of their sisterhood. And so the postcard goes out in hard copies to people that we have emails for, but we do an email blast of this, and we also post it on the social media channels as well.
That is truly beautiful. I mean, it's the same thing. You guys have wonderful marketing and design people, and just to give that sort of impact succinctly to what they are giving to, I think it's so helpful when you're fundraising and you're really trying to increase revenue and make a change in your school. So good job on that. I love that. Great materials. Let's see here. Lucio, do you have anything that you're working on this upcoming, I guess, end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, development, we're always working on something, right? So, right, we typically every year we send out a Thanksgiving appeal, end of year Thanksgiving appeal. And in addition to that, we always have tamale visits for our donors. We make tamale visits. So a woman from the community will make tamales, we will package them, and we go and we deliver them to our donors. Given the current state of COVID-19, that's been kind of like we're trying to figure out exactly how that's going to look. Our donors are still expecting those tamales, so we're still going to do that. We're going to get tested and make sure that we take all the safety precautionary measures to make sure that we're delivering tamales that are safe. So our fundraising efforts are very much about storytelling and face-to-face interaction. So we've had to shift our face-to-face interaction to Zoom. We've had to shift our storytelling to other social media, to video content, that sort of thing. So so those are the two things that we're focusing on. But this year, given how we've shifted, we wanted to create another campaign. So one of our Melissa, my coworker, she came up with this idea for a Friendsgiving. And we want to use our board to help us facilitate that process. So we're going to assign them a particular amount to raise. I'm not sure, we haven't really decided that. And then they can reach out to their friends, and then they can, we're going to kind of manage this on our website. So it's just a way for our board members and a couple of other donors to engage their friends. And, we're kind of in these very uncertain times. So the need is always great. It's always great no matter what. So yeah, we're focusing on that. And lastly, we're focusing on fundraising some money for a studio and we're going to work on a podcast very soon. Awesome. And and we want to just raise some money so we have equipment for that, and also equipment for distance learning. All of our teachers are creating video content. So we want to make sure that we have the tools to be able to continue that, since we're not sure how long this quarantine is going to last. So we want to be prepared.
So good. Thanks for sharing, Lucy. I appreciate it. And lastly, Allison, if you would like to share a little bit of what we at CEF are doing here to end the year strong, I'd love to hear.
Thanks, Johnny. Well, we're going to continue our coffees with CEF through December, so stay with us. We've got some very interesting and informative episodes coming up. We're working on our annual impact report, which is, excuse me, basically our annual report. Last year, we moved to primarily a virtual platform for that, and obviously we're going to continue that this year. We do print out a few copies for those donors and friends who prefer to have a printed copy. But this really is, besides being an annual report, our largest appeal of the year. And it is full of stories. It is full of statistics and numbers to the extent that we don't overdo these statistics and numbers, but we give the ones that our donors and our friends want to see. But the parts of that report that really touch people are the stories. We have a donor story, we have a family story. This year, we're going to highlight some of the graduates of the class of 2020 across the Archdiocese who had a tough year and a tough experience of graduation, but everyone went through it with resilience and with joy and with hope. So that will be out probably in mid-November. We always have a Christmas Advent appeal, which is our second largest appeal, and that goes out over the Archbishop's signature, asking our donors and friends to remember the children of the Archdiocese at Christmas time. One of the things I really want to point out, and I use the word pivot, and you saw that in the announcement materials. I think my colleagues on this panel today would agree that the one thing we've all had to do this year is pivot, innovate, be creative, and do it quickly and do it expertly. And this very program that you are joining us for today is a result of that pivot. We had a wonderful event scheduled for the spring. We were going to take donors on a bus to visit schools, and we had planned to do this every few months, visit different schools in the Archdiocese, and of course, you all know what happened to that. So we tried to come up with something that would still give our donors, our friends, our colleagues, our partners, some sense of what was going on in the schools, having a way to touch them, even though virtually. And I think our coffees with CEF have gone beyond our wildest dreams, and we are so pleased that all of you attend, stay with us, bring us your stories, your experiences, because it helps all of us to be better and together to get all of us through this time. The other thing we did this year, and believe me, we did it with a wing and a prayer and a lot of prayers, was our virtual donor appreciation reception that took place a few weeks ago on October 7th. We had never had one before. All of our donor appreciation events had been typical, as all of you are aware of. And we just acted upon the creativity of all of our team members, anybody who had a good idea, our development committee of our board, and we came up with an event that I think people really enjoyed. We kind of set a standard. We sent out a wonderful party box beforehand that had 2 wine glasses, 2 masks, and 2 bingo cards, because some of our development committee wanted to play online bingo. So we did all that. We had some wonderful speakers, but the speakers didn't dominate. We didn't want it to be just a lecture. So thank you to Dolores Mission. We had an amazing virtual choir of many of the students singing one of my favorite songs. It was my personal request, and Katie Kevorkian's as well, but they rose to the occasion and it was beautiful. And then thank you to Nativity, St. Mary's Academy, Salesian, and a couple of other schools. We had a lovely collage of students saying thank you. Thank you to all our donors, all our supporters, all of our partners who helped to make their education possible. And it was just an amazing night. We recorded the whole thing. So Johnny, is it up on our website? I think we put it up.
It is. And we have the individual videos as well too. So
it's there if you want to see it. And you are perfectly allowed, when you hear the virtual choir, to do all the hand signs, because we were doing all the hand signs for the song. And I'm telling you, some of our donors, people that you might not think about doing the hand signs and jumping around, were doing it. So thank you to all of these schools, all that they do. And thank you to everybody, whether you're a donor, a partner, a development officer, a teacher, a principal. Thank you for all coming together to make our schools what they are for these students that we serve. Enough.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you so much. And as some of you may know, and some may not, like it is constant work. And yes, there's only about 2 months left in the year, but we are working tirelessly to make sure that we reach our goals. And it's so nice to see everybody hard at work and bringing innovation and creativity to how they're doing it as well too. Thank you everyone for sharing too. There are a few little nuggets of knowledge there, and I think that something that I want to hone in on now is Denise. I'll go back to Denise as well too. I love the material, love the appeal, but there's something that I think CEF has been trying to do for a very long time as well, is to engage our alumni. So our beneficiaries who have gone on to college and continue to live their amazing lives, but how do we kind of get them back into the fold? How do we engage them if they do have the interest to come in? And I love how you guys really targeted the alumni. Could you educate us on how important it is that you and your team chose to target your alumni?
Yes, absolutely. It's important to continue to engage our alumni because they represent 62% of the individual gifts that come into St. Mary's Academy. We have a lot of programming with our alumni continuously. We have virtual visits with them. We've done a virtual thank you video that we've engaged them with. We have other programming such as our Bells and Books, where it's essentially a book reading club that we used to have on campus, but now it's virtual. And that seems to be very popular with them. And so we continue to do that. We're always doing surveys, asking them how do they want to be engaged in this time of COVID. When it comes to other donors, there's always the question of how are our students doing? And so we are also working on doing some virtual recordings of various classes so that we could showcase how students are performing on distance learning. And so we're going to be sharing that very soon with our alumni and also our other donors as well. So we've definitely had to pivot during this time.
Yes, most certainly. And I truly do love the fact that your girls in every grade level kind of don a certain color of a tie. And I think that probably brings so much camaraderie between them. And I'm sure as they go on, they probably miss that. And it's, either nostalgia or something they miss. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, the fact that you guys are kind of trying to bring them back into the community, seeing that list of traditions you guys have, like it makes sense. So I'm glad you guys are doing that.
The tie colors represent their sisterhood with each other. And even though I've been here just about 90 days, that's the first thing that one of them will say is, I'm a blue tie, I'm a red tie. And recently I had someone that was going to turn 95, and she was insistent upon coming to campus and spending her 95th birthday here at St. Mary's Academy.
Oh,
so
wow.
You know what? We had to throw a birthday party. It was only 6 people, but we gave her a birthday party, socially distanced birthday party with all the doors open in our library and reading room patio. And she really enjoyed it. And so, again, we've definitely had to pivot and think about ways on how we can continue to engage our alumni in St. Mary's Academy.
So great, Denise. Thank you so much for that anecdote. That's amazing. Another thing, I'd like to jump into our chat. We had so many people I think when it was Lucio was explaining that they do tamale sort of deliveries. We've had them too, and we love them. And so, I mean, a lot of people were saying, you had me at tamale. So thank you everyone for chiming in. And also Karina over there at Dolores Mission said, trading my sorrows is a DMS favorite. So they were willing to happy to help us on our donor appreciation event. So this is a small reminder, everybody, if you have questions, if you have any sort of, affirmations or anything, just send them in there. Sandra also put a couple links, and we'll have links later on too. So Lucio, I do want to kind of segue over to you as well too. We were blown away when we heard the news of how wonderful your golf tournament did. And then we were like, wait a minute though, if we're socially distanced, how did that even work? Or how do you even do that? Because I guess as a understatement of the year, golf tournaments are hard. And as anybody who's put them on, we put them on years ago, but they're tough. And just to see you guys have such a good result from that, I'd love to ask you, how did you guys do this? How did you end up even deciding to continue to move forward?
Yeah, can you pull up the slide?
Absolutely. Yeah, give me one quick second. Here we go.
So yeah, can you go up to the top?
Absolutely. Yeah, one more. There you go. Let's see here. There it is. Sorry, Lucia. There you go.
So yeah, pivot's kind of a word that keeps coming up during this conversation. And when COVID happened, we quickly moved to distance learning, and we were just trying to focus initially on the safety of our teachers, of our kids, of everybody at DMS. But then as a fundraising team, we thought, well, what's going to happen to the things that bring in money for the school? What's going to happen to our golf tournament? So we initially met with our golf committee. It was incredible, and we were thinking, okay, we might have the golf tournament, we might not. We eventually obviously decided not to have a golf tournament. So the question became, how do you raise money for a golf tournament when you don't golf? So we pretty much just moved it to a virtual event. So that was a bit of a challenge. None of us had ever done that. So we just really focused on, first of all, we had an incredible honoree, Kathleen Duncan. And we just decided to do everything that we possibly could in terms of outreach, in terms of marketing, via email, social media, snail mail. Believe it or not, snail mail is still such a popular thing. Our donors love getting letters from us, postcards. So we just kind of went all out. We mailed postcards, we would mail just a bunch of things. And then we would send out email blasts maybe twice a week, and just kind of sharing what the golf tournament means to a lot of people, because it's called the Jesuit Charities Golf Tournament. It mostly benefits Dolores Mission School, but it also benefits our church. It benefits Blessed Sacrament and Jesuit missions. So it's a very important event. And we were just kind of like, okay, let's try it and see what happens. So we did all of those things. Can you move to the next slide, please? We decided, what would be a realistic goal? And we were kind of sitting there, and I remember Karina said, well, let's try to raise $160,000. And I thought, that's crazy. There's no way that we're going to raise that kind of money in this environment with so much uncertainty. So I thought, in my head, if we raise $100,000, it will be a miracle. So sure enough, we moved forward. Our golf committee plays such a huge role in the golf tournament. They reach out to all of their friends. We have one particular golf committee member who writes letters to a bunch of his friends, handwritten letters, mails them out, and he is responsible for a big chunk of our fundraising efforts for golf. So we love him. He's incredible. So again, our goal was $160,000. We ended up raising $193,000. 75% of that was raised prior to the event. And that, I think that happened because we focused so much on our outreach efforts, on our marketing efforts beforehand, because we weren't sure how successful a Zoom call was going to be. We thought, we don't know how many people may show up. Like, we were hoping for a certain number, we got a different number. We were very thankful, but we focused so much on our marketing. So we had a good amount raised before the day of the event. And then even the day of the event, we did really well. And again, it was all thanks to our golf committee. Our golf committee, they're incredible. They're the ones that really help us in this. And it speaks to essentially what we're doing as development officers, as development directors. We're just the conduit. We're in the middle. We have the kids that we serve, and we have donors. And we're the ones that tell the story, ask for money, and then our donors show up. And during these times of such uncertainty and people are going through financial issues, our donors have showed up in big ways. And we are so thankful. We just can't believe the level of success that we've had. Our need is great, but our donors are stepping up in big ways. So we're very thankful. But moving forward, we still want to focus. We're starting to realize that how much marketing is playing a role in getting our story out there. So again, I mentioned the podcast earlier. We're working with the Desmond Company. They're helping us focus on strategic marketing. So we created a Friends of Dolores Mission social media account, and then we're very much engaged with our LinkedIn accounts. So it's just a kind of a different way to engage with donors, because our normal social media accounts are for our kids, or for our parents, for our parishioners, community members. So we want to tell the story of our donors. We want to share with other people, why do they give? Why do they believe in Dolores Mission? And we also want to share outcomes, like, where is my money going? Where are these kids ending up at school? And if you follow our social media, you'll see that our alumni are doing incredible things. We have kids at, we've had kids from UCLA, USC, just everywhere. So, but yeah, this work is only because of our donors, only because of them, and because of the stories that we get to tell about our amazing kids.
That's amazing, Lucio. Thank you so much. As you see, hard at work. We all are. And Dolores Mission, you guys are always pushing the envelope. You have so many ancillary programs that help your parents. You guys are always a great inspiration to us here. So thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
As we all know, bringing in the money and telling the story is so crucial, but this is directed towards Susan. I really like your approach to keeping your donors and keeping everyone informed on what's happening and what the impact is. And I did want to ask you, can you describe a little bit about your guys' strategy there at Nativity and your passion behind stewardship?
Everyone here is, stewardship is so very important to each and every one of us. I think that when making decisions, we look first to the Lord, to serve Him. And in order to do so, we think about what is it exactly that our parents need? And most importantly, what is it that our students need? And I think if we place our families and students first and foremost, we can't make a bad decision. And I think that's what drives each and every one of us. Look at Denise's passion. Look at Lucio's passion. They are who drive us. Allison, she is tireless. She just doesn't serve your community, but she serves my community as well, and many others. And I think it's because of the students and families that we serve, gets us up in the morning and helps us pivot, helps us to look outside the box and to be creative. We just need to keep doing that because the students need it. The families need it. If we weren't doing this, where would they be?
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. We actually have somebody who chimed in too, because we use this platform as a learning experience and a way for us to network. And we have somebody who chimed in and said that I'm struggling to receive any student correspondence like for the donors this year. Is there any advice that you may be able to give, or anyone here on our panel on how we can get some of those tangible thank yous or just materials in general, so we can push that forward as a stewardship movement?
I'm happy to share any materials that we've created.
Absolutely.
Get me their information, and definitely I'm sure any of us would be happy to share.
Absolutely. And we actually had someone, which is lovely. I love the chat as well too. Diane Teckham over at Bishop Conity. She also just chimed in with an answer, and she says, I'm beginning our thank you campaign next week, and I'm working with students through their theology class. November is a time of remembrance and thanks, and they use it as a teaching moment. So I'm glad that stewardship is always got to be at the forefront of our minds. Yes, acquisition. Yes, let's keep the numbers growing year over year. But the people who have chosen to be with us, we need to let them know that we're thankful and that their dollars do mean something much more than our words can say. So we do also want to say thank you to any donors that are online as well too. Thank you so much for your contributions. We're going to do our best to make sure the dollars get to where they need to. Lastly, I would say it's not really an elephant in the room, but COVID has really caused us to pivot, and we're dealing with a lot of limitations here. And so, with possible spending freezes, hiring freezes, how I would like to ask each one of you, how is the size of your team, along with the scenario that we have where we have to work from home and we can't see anyone, how has that caused each of you to sort of lean into your teammates and your colleagues to get the job done? Denise, I'll start with you.
Certainly, as the newest person here in the development team, I lean on my colleagues to share their knowledge of our alumni and making sure that we tailor the messaging to the audience so that it resonates with them. And then throughout the campus, there are other folks here that know graduates and they have extensive knowledge. And so I formed really great partnerships with our faculty and administration so that I could learn as much as I can about the students that have come through St. Mary's Academy so that our communication to them will be meaningful and will resonate to them. So absolutely, I've leaned on everyone here at St. Mary's Academy.
Yes, absolutely. And this is not too important, but I think it is as well too. How big is your team there at St. Mary's as far as a development team?
Right now, we're a team of 2, and hopefully we'll be expanding to 3 very soon.
Oh, yeah, see, that's amazing. That's even more so of a congratulations. It's like, good job with everything you're doing. Lucio, how about you? How big is your team, and how has you guys been working, or the way you've been working together, how has that helped?
So we're a team of 4, and of course they're all here because they're all so supportive and incredible. It's been interesting. I mean, we've had to, you know, work just from home as everyone else has, but I feel because we're all kind of going through a difficult time, it's brought us closer. I mean, we already had a very strong team. We worked very collaboratively. Everyone's ideas are heard. Everyone's considered. So it's just kind of, I mean, it's funny because things are already great as they were, and even though this has been a challenging time, I think we're still working incredibly well as a team, and that just kind of speaks to the people who make up the team. So I'm just appreciative of them. They're incredible. We can count on each other for anything, and yeah, I'm just lucky to be a part of an incredible team.
Thank you, Lucio. We're so happy to have you too. I'm sure Dolores Mission is as well. As I see in the chat, everybody's rooting for you. You're doing good. And we'll go over to Susan. Susan, how do you feel? Well, how big is your team, and how do you feel that has benefited you guys?
Technically, I'm a team of 1. However, I am not alone. I have an amazing board. I have an incredibly tireless principal. So to say I'm alone would not be right. We work hand in hand on just about everything. It's wonderful to be able to bounce ideas off my principal and board. They are just a group of dedicated women who just want to help, and I feel so blessed to have them by my side. And it doesn't matter what time of day it is, I am able to reach out, and I am comforted and inspired by their energy and their ideas, and I feel very fortunate to be a part of their team.
Excellent answer. Well said. Thank you so much. So we're getting towards the last 10 minutes of our session, and I'm just so moved and inspired by just the work and the passion that you guys have all put behind your work. It's really refreshing to see, and it helps, bring meaning to the work that we're doing. True vocation that we are all in. So, Allison, this is sort of a funny situation. Obviously, you work for us, and I'm a part of the team as well too. But I will ask the same. How big is your team, and how has that impacted sort of this COVID?
Well, we are a team of 5, so we are very, very blessed. As you all know, we were a team of 6 until a couple of weeks ago, and we miss Katie greatly. But I have to say that I have seen over this past year, and especially after Katie left us, such an amazing outpouring of talent and cooperation and just energy from my team. I think all of them stepped up, they reached deep inside themselves, and they brought out some amazing abilities, skills, and I have to thank each one of them. I really have to especially thank Johnny, who stepped up into this role as host of Coffee with CEF because we didn't want to let it go. And he has done an amazing job. I want to give a big shout out to him, to Sandra, who stepped into the tech role, which is not an easy role, believe me, and to Denise, our Denise, who has stepped into all sorts of new responsibilities, and then to Lorna, who works part-time, but she is powerful. She is the epitome of stewardship. And as so many people have said here, you do your very best in whatever way you have, with whatever resources you have, to reach out to your donors, to touch them as people, to thank them, to make them feel appreciated and part of your community. And if you can really communicate why you're there, that mission, why it's important, which I think everybody on this call does, they will respond. And I have been incredibly heartened. And it's good to hear that all of you are having the same experience, by our donors stepping up, by new donors coming in, by people giving more than they've given in the past. And it has been so heartening to me. We have the help of our development committee, our board of trustees. They have all stepped up and have challenged themselves to give more than they normally do this year. So we have a little mini trustee challenge going on. And I can't even tell you how heartened I am by all that. It's just amazing, because I know we all had some brief dark moments when COVID hit, but it has been amazing, and it just renews my hope in humanity and in the power of God.
Thank you, Allison. Very, very well said. So in no way was that for, to turn on me, but I do appreciate it, guys. And it's a true team effort. I think that's what that question was about, is just to shine a light on the realities that, we don't have the 10, 15 person team that, some of us are able to convey in our messaging and the way we approach, but we do love what we do, and we're here for the kids. And so I hope that everyone today had a great experience. I certainly learned a ton from each of our guest speakers and our leaders out in the Catholic schools. So I just want to say thank you so much to our guests, Susan, Denise, Lucio, and Allison. You made this morning extremely enjoyable, and taught me a great deal, for sure. I do want to end with a few links, so that way, if anybody's interested in learning any more of our wonderful guests and the efforts that they're doing at their schools, and if there's anything that we all as audience members can help, we definitely want to do that too. And first, I would also let you know that we'd like to say thank you to all the Catholic schools across the Archdiocese of LA for your dedicated work, especially during this time. Our school principals and pastors are working hard to reach out to families and make sure that our Catholic schools are available to everyone who wants to enroll. So it's always our goal that no one is turned away for lack of funds, though it is increasingly difficult to offer the amount of financial aid that is needed. So if you can give right now, please visit our website at cefdn.org. And remember that 100% of your donation to CEF will support the tuition awards. If you would like to learn of the many great things that Nativity School is doing, and if you'd like to reach out to Susan as well too, I'm sure you can find her email on there as well, but you visit them at www.nativityla.org, and they'll be able to help you out and give you some more information. Also, I'd like to invite you all, if you would like to learn more about St. Mary's Academy, please visit them at their website, smabells.org. And also they started a COVID-19 fund as well too. So if you would please consider supporting their students there at smabells.org/COVID. I'm sure they will greatly appreciate it as well too. We also want to let you guys know if there's any information you'd like to gain from Dolores Mission and all the wonderful things they're doing, visit them at their website, doloresmissionschool.org. And of course, if there's anything that you guys need from us or want to ask us or learn a little bit more from the CEF, visit us at cefdn.org, and we can get some more information out to you guys. So I truly enjoyed every second of today's session. And I would like to give one last big thank you to our guests. You guys are the true VIPs here. So before we close out this morning, I do want to remind everyone that we have Coffee with CF every Wednesday at 10 a.m. So next week, after the big election, make sure you go out there and vote. We'll have an amazing episode with Erica Sular from Alma Backyard Farms. on Wednesday, November 4th at 10 a.m. Remember to RSVP on our website the same way you did today at cefdn.org/coffee with CEF. And with that, I would like to say thank you. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It was a true pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you.
Thank you all for being with us. We